This video, I'm going to talk about what they're saying. So, as I said, they wanted to come up with a script to try to influence me. So they said many years ago I wasn't a good dresser and someone I was friends with had to help me dress. That's not what happened. And that's my point. So they said I shouldn't be fashion fun femme. That's not what happened. So what I'm telling you about these people, this is another tactic. So I'm going to start a series of not just interpretation of the day, but tactics. So hopefully I'll be able to put a tactic in each video. That will be, usually I give you guys a bonus at the end, the tactic will be. But today, since I'm starting the tactics, I'll do that first and then I'll do an interpretation. So a tactic that these types of people use is to make you feel like you are less than, but that there's something you can do to be better. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like, you're a horrible person, but if you do this and this and this, you won't be so horrible. That's a tactic. And that's part of their gang tactics. These aren't people who don't want you. And that's what I said in a previous video. These are people who want you, but they want you to be people to manipulate you. So part of my interpretation of the day series is that I want you to be able to hear my interpretation of what they're saying to me and how I interpret it. But I also want you to be able to understand what that tactic is. It's not a tactic of, you know what, we don't want you, blah, blah, blah. I can deal with that. It's a tactic of we want you, but we want to be able to manipulate you. So that's different from an interpretation. So it's not just the words, it's how they do it. So they said one of the setups they used was, now, again, we're talking about, 1990 something, that they didn't like the way I was dressing. So that's a recurring theme with them, not liking something I do. But instead of just being like normal people where you're like, oh, I might not like such and such, but I can move on from it or whatever. They make a point of trying to change me. Okay, that's a tactic. Trying to change somebody is a tactic. So they're trying to come up with now I'm 49, so they're trying to come up with things. Well, maybe in elementary school, did you ever try to change someone when you were dating? That's not the point. It's the point. That's the thing. They missed the point. So these type of manipulative people miss the point. I don't want them. So someone left a comment, and I'm thanking that person for the comment, that these people aren't coming forward. No, what they did instead was they used people who I didn't want and I rejected to try to get back in touch with me. I don't want them. How many times can you tell someone you don't want them without them realizing I don't want them? I don't want any of these people. No, thank you. That's a sentence. So my interpretation of the day is this. You used to, no, that's a lie. It's a lie. Twisting and distorting something to say I used to do something I didn't do is a lie. It's still manipulative. So my interpretation of that manipulative is, well, if you did something ever similar, then it's the same. Similar and the same are not, then that's not the same. The same is the same. So to say that I used to do something that I didn't do and twist it is not the same as what they're doing today. So the last point I want to make, and I'll probably say something else a little bit later today, is that this is what they expected would happen. They now admit that, yes, this is a EMF broadcast. It's being broadcast to people. So when they invaded my privacy, it wasn't just a crime. It was to broadcast things, which means it's out loud. And a broadcast means it's broadcast. Many people will know. They went from trying to seem like, oh, they thought I was so great, I'm so wonderful, to becoming very nasty when I wouldn't go along with them and when I started to connect the dots. And that's why, to me, it was important to be able to connect the dots and to do these videos, because once I'm telling you this stuff and it matches the broadcast, it's not in my head. Same with other victims. It's not in your head if I hear what they're saying about you. So they thought I was going to go to the people doing this and ask them for help. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? So they said, I tried to get somebody's grandson killed. What about them killing me? That's my point. They find these ways of trying to manipulate victims. You're not going to manipulate me. And you're not going to change what was already broadcast. That was the beauty of doing these videos, contacting every law enforcement person group on the planet. It's meant to make sure that you will not get away with it. You're not going to guilt me, shame me, embarrass me, or do anything that will change my mind about this. And that's my point with these folks. They claimed that they were doing this decades ago. The technology didn't exist on this level decades ago. It didn't. So now we're dealing with reality, and the reality of what they did should be finally sinking in for them. The last point is that they wanted to say, and they keep trying to equal, well, this equals that. So they said that they wanted to suggest things to me so it looks like in some way they influenced me. The reason they wanted to do that was because they stole my ideas. They stole my thing, my shtick. And they wanted to make it seem like this is equal. It's not equal in any way, shape, or form. It's different. So they said, well, I gave them permission to broadcast it. No, I did not. If it was being broadcast before I realized it, I could not have given permission. The last thing I'm going to touch on in this video, I'll do a separate video for the other things, is that they said my accent changed. I've said this repeatedly. I mean, they're stuck on the damn accent. Even when I was a child, they would say, oh, you speak what they would say proper. And that was before I was even aware of it. So how is it possible that a little child would be faking an accent? It's the same accent. And I have more than enough proof of that. The last thing I would want is to change my accent. Why? Because it goes back to my relatives and my family. And that's part of what I'm trying to explain to people who are too thick to get it. I'm not going to back down. I'm going to talk every day until the day I die. Today, my speech was off in the morning, so I had to do a video late. So I hope to do another video right after I upload this so that I can get everything I have to say out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And if you're going through this and you're recording your EMF broadcast, could you leave a comment with the link to your EMF broadcast so I can hear how yours sound? Because I'm trying to find out, are our scripts written by the same people? Are they broadcasting like the same thing and then inserting our names, or are they completely different? And it's sometimes hard to look for the EMF broadcast. So now that we know it's called the EMF broadcast, if you recorded yours, could you just leave comments and I can listen to them and see, are they saying pretty much the same things? Thank you for watching.